Verse number 7. Jnana karma padarthodo vastu kartatma tantrako jnanan mokshona karmabhyah iti Vedanta Dindima. So in the last class we were discussing this point, that jnanam and karma, there are two things, the knowledge and the karma, the action. And interestingly, both of them are quite opposite in nature. So when the karma depends upon the person, the karta, the jnanam depends upon the vastu. And interestingly, karma brings karma phala, which is finite in nature, whereas jnanam does not give anything, only it illumines. So what is there, only that illumines. So that's why jnanan moksha. So the liberation that we are looking for, only by jnanam, not by any other means. Why? Because the liberation that we look for, the freedom, the happiness that we look for, it has to be infinite. So if it has to be infinite, as we discussed, karma will bring karma phala, which is infinite in nature. As karma is finite, so also the karma phala has to be finite. Including going to heaven also finite, because heaven is created in time, and that too it is a karma phala. Because of your punya, because of your good deeds, because that you have done many good, better things in your life, that's why you are promoted to heaven. So if you are promoted to heavens, definitely you cannot stay there all the time. Even though people do talk permanently, like exactly people they say in job, I have a permanent job, I have a temporary job. So what does this permanent means? So permanent means what? Open contract. So in the terms of 10 years, 20 years, so there in the job permanent means what? Till you can work. If everything goes smoothly, so that long you can work. So that permanent word only 20 years or 30 years. Same thing, going to heaven can be few million years. So that is possible. Few million years also you can stay in heaven, no problem. So but that is not the solution. However, here it says, Jnanan mokshati. So this moksha, the happiness, that is forever. Not created in time, nor going to destroy in time. That cannot be karma phala. So it has to be by jnanam. Why it is jnanam? Because that is me, that is my nature. Jnana only reveals. Jnana only illumines. Because knowledge doesn't create anything. It only illumines what is there. So while discussing this thing, na karmabhya iti, as we discussed, because karma will bring karma phalam. The karma phala is finite in nature, definitely that is not moksha either. We have seen in details. Now next. Srotabhya sravya rupodo padartho sukha dukkhado srotavyam brahmanaivanyan. Naivanyat it should be. Srotavyam brahmanaivanyat iti Vedanta Dindimaha. So iti Vedanta Dindimaha. So this is what the Vedanta. So what Vedanta Shastra says, again says, Dau Padartho. So when he says Dau Padartho, so there are two categories. Always it goes in Dau now, okay? Later on we see differently. So what are they? So little differently says, Srotabhya and Asravya Rupa. So that means Srotavya, that which is worth listening to. And another is called Ashravya, which is not at all worth to listening to. In fact, it is not necessary to hear. And you know, my favorite man had 3 monkeys. I think he was, one of the perverted fellow. And very popular also. So what is that 3 monkey? One monkey is closes the eyes not to see bad things. One monkey closes the ear not to hear bad things. One monkey closes the mouth not to speak bad things. Now, is there any bigger perverted fellow than this? No brain at all. I'm not telling you jokes. He didn't have brain at all. In fact, when there is a fight between who was supposed to be the second prime minister, because first prime minister in India is Subhash Chandra Bose, technically. In fact, who has got credit, but he is never acknowledged, called Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who brought all the kings, around more than 200 kingdoms after Britishers left. All small kingdoms wanted to be independent. Around 200, more than 200. So he brought together. In fact, there is a fight nicely. In fact, I have heard directly from a person who was with Mahatma Gandhi. Because I had a good relationship. So there was some issue about China. So Mahatma Gandhi said those days, till now the confusion going on. After all, that is Terran land. Leave it, let China take away. What is big in it? And that time that minister said, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel said, yeah. You have the head also, there is no hair on your head. So that also can be given to somebody. Joke apart. This not to see, because this is a contextually, that's why I've taken. Not to hear bad things, you close the ears. So when you close the ears, also you will miss good things. Will you be able to hear good things? When you close your eyes not to see bad things, also you will not be able to see good things either. When you close your mouth not to speak bad things, also you will not speak good things, and other people bad things will continue. So these 3 monkeys is a very good political gimmicks. Can you see this point? And the sad part of overseas is, because of propaganda of this Congress previous government, India means Mahatma Gandhi, Taj Mahal. Here both are useless. One of the worst monuments is called Taj Mahal. We have better things to see in India. But luckily I have not seen Taj Mahal yet, okay? Neither I want to see. This is my problem. So here we say, you need to have this. In fact, I had thought of 3 monkeys long back. One monkey with hearing aid. Listen to things very clearly. Even if you listen bad things, if you listen to clearly, you will grow out of it, or at least you will know what is right, what is wrong. And also same thing, have either telescope or microscope. See things clearly. And third one should be, loudspeaker. उन लोगों को मना कर दो काम बंद करने के लिए. Just stop the work. So anyway, because I have told these people to stop, they are not listening to me at all. In fact, my throat became bad. Yesterday I shouted at them. So because of that reason, they are not listening at all. My prarabdha, coming back. So I need a real loudspeaker, okay? So I'm thinking to have the exact contextually. So a loudspeaker. So when you have a loudspeaker, you speak good things only. So you cannot speak bad things. That's why if you have not seen a politician talks very badly, but when they are giving loudspeaker on the dais, how they speak. We must do this thing for society. We must do this, do that, do that. Then after that, you know what they do it. So coming back to the point. Shrotavyas asravya. This is the point. In fact, when there are two things, one is worth listening to, other one is not worth. So when a person divides into two categories, then comes, what is it comes? Says, look, where is the verse went somewhere? The paper. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I got it now. And interestingly, there, sukha dukkha dau. So, thou means the sukhada dukkada, the one who gives, giver of, causes sukham and dukkham. So that means that which is worth listening to, that gives me sukham. So what is sukham? Sukham means pleasure. And dukkham means the pain. So that which is worth listening to gives me sukham, and of course that which is not worth listening to, it gives me dukkham, the pain. So that means you can see very carefully. Make it faster. Make it faster. Problem is you people are not conscious. I can scold them, not you, okay? Coming back to the point. See, because I have a problem, as long as people are away from me, good. The more you become closer to me, I become tougher. That is what I mean. Because the truth, the reality is this. If I do not become tougher, you will not learn. You will not improve. I cannot change. You will not improve. You will not put effort. Either you continue or you drop. This is what I work. If you continue, bad for me. If you drop, good for me. This is the truth, whether you accept it or not. However, let us not get into. Coming back here, that Shrotapya or Sravya. So there are something worth to listening to, and there are something not worth at all. So whatever is worth listening to gives me sukham, the pleasure, and what is not gives me pain. Now question may arise, what is that? So that it becomes easier for me to understand. He says, look, Shrotavyam Brahmaiti. That is worth listening to is Brahman, about Brahman. In short, Brahma Vidya. And now eva anyat iti. So that means now eva anyat iti. So when he says now eva anyat, definitely not other. Other means other than Brahman. Because we have to be very clear and careful who I all highlight. Remember, what is pleasure? What is comfortable? That is pleasure or comfortable for a common person, where my ego is not being challenged. As long as my ego is not being challenged, that long I am comfortable. So the moment ego is being challenged, in fact, whatever is comfortable or whatever gives me comfortable will be very discomfortable. I'll feel uncomfortable. Have you not observed that? Especially in a relationship, whether with object, with person, or with the memory. Because relationship with memory is more dangerous than the relationship with a person and situation. So as long as that person, that object or memory gives me comfort, as long as it goes along with my ego or my way of thinking. Once it starts contradicting, definitely that memory, that person is no more comfortable, in fact becomes painful. So in a polite language you will say, that fellow is pain on my neck. But you know exactly what you want to communicate. It's very bad expression in English. So, what does it mean? It means very carefully that my ego must not be challenged. This is common thinking. But here is being used that Brahma is Srotavyam and that will give Sukham. How is it possible? Because the Brahma is nothing but the self. So this Brahma Vidya is nothing talking about me, the self. And what is that self? The self that is all pervasive. So when I am all pervasive, I am limitless, I am happiness. Now, where is the possibility of existence of the ego? So when there is no possibility of existence of ego, how come ego will be challenged? Then only I get ultimate sukha. Can you see this point? Whereas other than Brahman, anything I listen to, if not today, tomorrow it has to give pain. In fact, if you observe common person, a farmer who does not know many things, comparatively happier than the one who knows many things. Have you not observed this? Earlier days, especially when there was no television, I'm not talking about when there was no, what do you call internet, okay? Internet is recent. When there was no television, people were better. Because if I remember very well, to be very honest, in our childhood, news will come what? Morning once, evening once, daytime once. 3 times news used to come, okay? We were better, no problem at all. In fact, newspaper was more interesting. And they started doing evening edition. That was very painful, okay? And I remember, this is how I got spoiled. Before going to bed, evening edition newspaper I must read, okay? So whole day what has happened, and that was very fresh news. Then television came. And you know what happened, 24/7, nothing to do, especially in India, only channels, nothing. That was actually okay, manageable. Now this internet has come. In a second what happens? It is available on your telephone, on your palm, not telephone, on your palm. Now, do you have any peace now? Tell me a single news what gives you pleasure. Tell me a single news, including Facebook. In fact, Facebook creates depression. If you want to get out of the depression, get out of the Facebook first, all social media, which is not healthy at all. So that's why Srotavyam Asravyam iti. Okay, let us read the next verse. Chintya chintya padarthodo Vishranti Shranti Dayako Chintyam Brahma Param Nanyata Iti Vedanta Dindima. Good. Chintya Chintya, do padartho, same thing, there are two categories. So one is Chintya, other one is not Chintya. So one is worth contemplating, worth dwelling upon, other one is not. And interestingly says that, what does it give? Here is Dayako. So it causes, it gives. So what is that? One is Vishranti Dayako, other one is Shranti Dayakam. So Vishranti means free from Shranti. So what is Shranti, you may ask? Shranti means all sort of agitation, disturbance. See, Shanti is different, peaceful, okay? But it becomes Shranti, S-H-R-A. Because your Shanti is S-H-A, okay? If you want to say S-H-A-N-T-I is Shanti, that is perfect. But if you put S-H-R-A, just R is being added, same thing. The meaning completely changes. So, that means it says, Achintya Padartha, that which is not worth to listen to, not dwell upon, that gives Shranti, gives agitation, gives disturbance, makes you extrovert. We'll see in details. Whereas that which is worth contemplating makes you free from, resolves all sort of Shranti. If this is the case, now question arises, what is that? He says, Chintyam Brahmaiti. So the worth contemplating here is Brahman. And of course, Param no Anyatiti. So this Brahma, which is Param, one word is it will be Param Brahmaiti. So the worth listening to is Param Brahma, the absolute Brahma. Whereas not others. Now question may arise, how is it possible? That other thing gives me Shranti, agitation, and Brahman, Param Brahma gives me Vishranti. How is it possible? Simple thing, you know better. If you dwell upon anything, definitely while dwelling upon, what do you get? Not only your mind becomes extrovert, also if you observe, you invite unnecessary problems. Have you not observed this point very carefully? Because, please understand this point, that whenever you dwell upon Brahman, Brahman gives you Vishramiti. Because why there is agitation in you? When there is separation, when there is difference, unless and until there is difference and separation, can there be any agitation? Please try to see this point. Whereas interestingly here, Brahma does not create any separation in me, because that which is all pervasive, that which is limitless, how can that be that will cause separation in me? That's why a seeker cannot be a separatist. That's why you can see for yourself. That is the greatness of this Indian culture. So far, India has never invaded any country. India has never created any separation anywhere. Never. Because of this gene. Because of this subconscious understanding. Can you see this point? And of course, whoever I have caused the separation, being outside, definitely they don't come under this great traditional teaching or this teaching. In fact, I can tell you openly, not a single Hindu person so far is a separatist. I can write it down. You cannot find a single Hindu who is a terrorist or terrorist mind. Impossible. Even though they painted that Hindus are called terrorists. One government painted. However, coming to the point, because of this knowledge, whole thing comes to the knowledge part. Just think of you yourself now. After exposed to this teaching, if you really imbibe this teaching, if you really cherish this teaching, can you separate anything, anybody? Can you destroy anything, anybody? It will not work. If you try to destroy, if you try to separate, hey, you will be separated. You will be destroyed. It will not work. Because the knowledge will have its own impact. That's why, Chintyam Brahma na anyat iti. So if you really want to dwell upon Brahman, the reason is more of it. We all start dwelling upon insecurity from the morning onwards. The more you dwell upon insecurities, the more you become insecure. Whereas when you dwell upon one's own self, that is Brahman, you are ever secured. Can you see this point? So if this is the case, at least let me not dwell upon insecurities. Problem with all of us is, we think by dwelling upon insecurity, working with insecurity, will become secure. Is it possible? By dwelling upon or working with insecurity, you are not going to be secure. You will be a sophisticated insecure. You understand? This is the difference. And that sophistication, God knows when and how it will pop up. So basically, we all are working to become a sophisticated insecure person. I remember Swami Chinmayananda used to say those days to his brahmacharis. He'll say, hey, remember, you guys are sophisticated brahmacharis. Oh, sorry, sophisticated beggars. That was Swami Chinmayananda's statement. You guys are called sophisticated beggars, okay? Don't forget that. Okay, I should not raise my voice. However, he was unique in that way. Really, his roaring voice, personality. That's why he could establish. However, if that is the case, then what is to be done? Then he says, verse number 10, because I am supposed to take verse number 10 also. Dhyaya dheye padarthodho dhi samadhya samadhido dhyatavyam brahmanaivanyat iti Vedanta Dindima. So iti, oh already time is up. Oh God. Iti Vedanta Dindima. This is called Vedanta, the proclamation of Vedanta. Dheya and Adhveya. That is something to be meditated upon, worth meditating upon. Adhveya, not worth. And he says, they are giver of what? The samadhi and asamadhi. So one gives the status of the sameness of the mind, whereas other one doesn't give. In fact, creates all sort of imbalances. So one gives very stable sameness mind, composed mind, whereas other is not. And what is that? Dhatavyam Brahma iti. The Brahman, that is to be meditated upon, not anything else. That's why in meditation we say Saguna Brahma Upasana. Dhyanam is called Saguna Brahma Upasana. There we use the word Brahma technically. The Brahma with qualities. Ishvara iti. That's why any dhyanam, we always make sure it should be Saguna Brahma, not what you think that you become. However, more of it we'll see tomorrow. Please close your eyes.